G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I will be going over how I went in round 22 and then I'll be giving you my tips for round 23. So starting things off Thursday night, I backed the Broncos to beat the Roosters and thank God I did. It was a very good win there for the Broncos. I did tip them 13 plus. In the next game, I took my Rabbitohs to come and get a good 13 plus win over the Tigers. Look, I was happy with the performance, but I wasn't thrilled with it, if you understand what I'm saying, because I thought the Rabbitohs could have definitely won this game by 30. To the Tigers' credit, they did come to play, but I thought there was some pretty silly errors there in the first half and a bit in the second half that, we should have won this game by a lot more is what I'm trying to say. Next up, I took Storm 1-12 to beat the Eels. I thought it would be a relatively close game, but Storm put their foot down and were like, nah, we are claiming this top four spot. This is ours. No one's taken it. And they proved a point here with a good win over the Eels. Next up, I took the Raiders at home, but I did say this was a game I think that could go either way. I took the Raiders 1-12, but it was the Knights that came out with the win here, 28-6. And I do think the Knights will finish in the top 8 this year. I am pretty confident in saying that. All right, next up, Manly and the Dragons. I did tip Manly here. Apparently they hadn't won since like 2003 or something, like some crazy stat. But I was pretty confident they'd get the job done here, especially for DCE's 300th. Look, was I impressed with them? Not by any means. And arguably the Dragons probably deserve this game more. But for DCE's 300th, look, the Dragons, they're not going anywhere on the ladder. Manly is still hoping to make finals. I don't see it happening, but you know what? They win. A win's a win. Took Panthers 13 plus to beat the Sharks. I had them by 16. They ended up winning by 28. Very dominant performance by the Panthers, and I really don't see anybody competing with them this year. Maybe the Broncos, potentially the Warriors. Outside of that, I think there's a definite chance they get a three-peat. And then Sunday, terrible day for me. I tipped the Dolphins 1-12 to beat the Dogs. Bulldogs got the job done up in Bundaberg, 23-22. And then I tipped the Cowboys 13 plus to beat the Titans. Titans were good, man. Where has this been all year? Disappointing for the Cowboys, but good win for the Titans. All right, round 23. Let's jump into it. Thursday night, we've got another Roosters clash on Thursday. Roosters take on Manly. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Manly are the fan-tipped favourites here. They're not. The Roosters are. And I tend to agree. I am going to back the Roosters. Hurts me to say, really does. Now, I definitely think this is a game Manly can win, but if I'm being honest, I really can't see it happening. I think I think it's at Sydney Football Stadium. Let me just double check that though, because I don't want to get that wrong. Sydney Cricket Ground. So it's at the SCG. Look, I still think the Roosters get the job done here, so I am going to stick with them. I think they'll win this one 1-12. Next up, we've got the Dolphins, the Titans back at Seabus once again. And then this is a game that I think the Warriors, could potentially. I don't think they'll lose this game. I really don't. I think the Warriors will really want to put on a good win here against the Titans. But, the Titans could be a danger team here. Coming off a good win against the Cowboys, they've proved they can beat top 8 teams. Do I think it happens? Absolutely not. I do think the Warriors win that one by about 14. I think it will be a 13-plus margin, but I don't think it will really get too much bigger than 14. I think the Titans can keep it relatively close, to be fair. Next up, we've got Panthers and Storm. This is the game of the round, easily. Look, I think Panthers are the team to beat this year. They just keep proving a lot of people wrong. I'm one of them that thought, they might be down and out this year, especially when they had a few early losses in the season. But I'm happy to be proven wrong, and the Panthers are doing that. I think they get a 1-12 win here. I don't think it'll be an absolute blowout. Next up, we've got the Broncos against the Cowboys. This is being played in North Queensland. However, I think the Broncos win this one. Valentine Holmes is a massive out. I believe they get Helam Lukey back, but they missed Jeremiah Nanai last week. And I just think the Broncos are going to be too strong. I think up there with the Panthers, the Broncos, and I think they will be too strong for the Cowboys in this one. sorry, Cowboys fans. That's the way I see it. Next up, we've got the Dolphins against the Knights. Look, I'd be very surprised if Finns are favourites here. They are not. Knights win this and win it well, in my opinion. I do think they end up with a 13-plus win. Look, I know it's been played at Suncorp, I believe, this game, which is a little. I know this one's in Optus, which is also where the next one is. So no real home ground advantage. I think the Knights take advantage in this one and get away with a really good win here, especially when both sides technically can keep their finals hopes alive. I just can't see it happening for the Dolphins, so I think this is a game where the Knights really put their foot down. I expect to see maybe Dom Young or Greg Marzhew, one of the two, get a double, but I do think the Knights win and win this one well. All right, next up, we've got the Rabbitohs against the Sharks. This is a game I think the Bunnies get a really good win in. Cronulla are playing horribly at this point of time. Got absolutely tailed up by the Panthers. And to be honest, they haven't beaten a top 8 side all year. They struggled to do it last year. Well, actually, technically, I think they beat the Cowboys. But outside of that, they haven't beat many top 8 sides. And I think that trend will continue. I'm backing the Rabbitohs to win this one 13+. Speaking of 13+, Eels should beat the Dragons 13+. 94% tip percentage there. The Eels, they're not looking dangerous at the moment, but they should have enough in the tank to beat the Dragons. The Dragons have just been abysmal this year. I think the Eels get a good win there on Sunday afternoon. And then the late game on Sunday, or the later game on Sunday, Raiders and the Tigers. Look, I think the Raiders win this one. I'm pretty confident in saying that. I don't think it'll be a 13+ win, but I do think the Raiders win. They won 1-12. All right, let's go through this once more. Roosters 1-12 in that one. Warriors over the Titans 13+. Panthers over the Storm 1-12. I think this one will be a close one. So Broncos over Cowboys 1-12. Knights over Finns 13+. Rabbitohs 13+. Eels 13+. And Raiders 1-12. Let me know your tips down below in the comments, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.